Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Why So Sidious, a nerd. We're off to a good start. Welcome in, Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast. Thank you for joining us on this lovely Saturday morning or evening, depending on where you are. But we are here bright and early, ready to go over the newest release, which is, of course, going across the world. It's the Stranger Things release, Season 5, Volume 1. We got 4 episodes dropped a few days ago. Spoilers are already popping up. I already got spoiled on one thing from episode 4 before I watched it, which I was not very happy about. So be careful out there. If you are holding off and you're like, you know what? Volume 2 drops Christmas. I got a month. I'm going to watch 1 episode a week. I'm going to live my life, go through social media. Bam, you got spoiled. So don't think that you're going to be able to do that because you're going to have some frustrating times. So it's out. We wanted to cover it as quickly as we could because we are Stranger Things fans here. And it's pretty funny. So the first Stranger Things episode that we did was Volume 4, right? And that's going to go all the way back to our 4th episode, July 9th, 2022. July 9th, 2022. We're in November 2025. It's been over 3 years. And that was the last Stranger Things coverage we had. So now this is technically episode 210 number wise, but I think as a whole we're on like close to 300 episodes.
Yeah, right.
Over 300. I think Buzzsprout.
I was gonna say, and I don't know exactly how to find it, and that's probably a negative look on my part, but I don't see where it shows total. Oh, there you go. 310.
310.
310.
So we recently hit 300.
Yeah, we probably should have celebrated that. So, yeah, it's been a while. We're stoked to get back here, and I think we've honed our skills since the last time we've covered Stranger Things. So I think we've gotten a little bit better, evolved a bit, added a new member to the podcast. So we're here. We are ready to break down Stranger Things. Before we get into it, make sure you are tuning into all of our episodes. We've got a lot of comic coverage out there. We've got a Spider-Man comics episode with Omnibus God. We got some Week in Geeks. Always, we've been very consistent with that. So you can pretty much always count on us to probably have a Monday Week in Geek unless it's a very slow week. And we did a Stranger Things season 1 through 4 recap episode too. So if you wanted to get caught up on that, go ahead and listen to that before you listen to this one here. And of course, we've always got stuff coming out. We've been watching Welcome to Derry. We watched Gen V. We've got an episode coming shortly with all 4 of us where we're going to recast every trilogy of the Star Wars saga. The prequel, the original, and the sequel. We're going to put modern day casting to it, and that'll be a fun one. So always be on the lookout. We always got new stuff coming out. So before we get into Stranger Things, I wanted to, well, no, this is about Stranger Things, but I wanted to ask you both about this because it's very significant to this season here. So there's something called, it's a play, and it's called The First Shadow. And what it is, it essentially follows Henry Creel. It's a backstory to Hawkins and the first time Dimension X was encountered, which Dimension X is where Henry first saw the mind flare out in that desert area where he got banished. There's a lot of background info that was in this play. I didn't watch the play. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. But I did see a post that highlights some important details they revealed. And the Duffer Brothers said that this is canon and this is significant to season 5. So it's like, whoa, what the hell? You release this information in a play? So I don't know if we're going to get a flashback that shows this in this season. But I wanted to real quick go over it. So again, I guess spoilers, but this doesn't reveal anything that happens in season 5 yet, to my knowledge. In that play, though, so it reveals in 1943, United States holds secret experiments involving the USS Eldridge, hoping to use a force field to turn the ship invisible and undetectable to the Germans. So World War II experiment. The ship is instead transported to Dimension X, where most of the crew are killed by strange humanoid creatures, aka probably the Demogorgons. Brenner takes Henry to Hawkins National Laboratory, where the two discuss the past. And in this past, oh, you gotta be kidding me. That's crazy. Sorry. Threads has a feature where if you don't want it spoiled, the captions are fuzzied out. And then if you tap it, it'll reveal the caption to avoid spoilers. And my screenshots got the majority of it covered up. But essentially, the only survivor from that boat was Dr. Brenner's dad. And so Dr. Brenner has now this fascination with this study into this other dimension and reproducing this experiment in Nevada, trying to do the same thing to find this Dimension X again. And at this point, Henry Creel was accidentally transported to Dimension X. And that gave him a new blood type. That's what made him special. He came back. He had an interaction with the Mind Flayer as a child. Came back from Dimension X, all messed up in the brain. That all happened before what we saw in the events in Hawkins.
Like the season 4 flashbacks with him as a kid.
Exactly. So he wasn't just twisted. That happened because military experiments sent him to Dimension X, and he had an encounter with the Mind Flayer as a child. So he was only gone for 12 hours. It changed his blood type. And now Brenner was able to track Henry down because Henry dropped something in the caves in which he was transported to. Well, those caves you'll find later in the episodes here. We're not covering episode 4, so I'm not going to get into it, but it has significance to it. So there's a lot of backstory here regarding Vecna. One, Dr. Brenner, these experiments, and Dimension X, all in this play. So that's kind of frustrating. But if you are more interested in it, it's called The First Shadow. I'm sure you can just read a synopsis on it and it'll give you all the background info. But it's got a lot of crucial information coming into season 5. So I wanted to briefly touch on that because that has a big deal to do with Vecna here and everything moving forward. Any thoughts on that at all? I know it was kind of a lot thrown at you, but
it definitely makes sense. And I guess so. Do you think they use his blood to make all the other kids powerful, right?
I'm assuming that's how the experiment stemmed from that. Yeah, exactly. And that's why the Hawkins laboratory was bringing in children and trying to replicate that and make these special children.
Right.
And maybe there's more to it. I don't know. I feel like there are some holes there, but it's a pretty big piece of information that just dropped under the covers of things. So
yeah,
wanted to touch on that. So let's get into it. We're in season 5. I'm not going to give you a full-on breakdown of the first 4 seasons, but I got about a sentence for each one. So Will gets kidnapped. 11 escapes a secret superpowered children factory. Sheriff Hopper finds the wrong missing kid. Demogorgons attack, and 11 kills everything. Season 2, Hopper hides and gets into arguments with 11 for 2/3 of a season. Tunnels emerge. Billy and Max are introduced. Will is still connected to the hive mind. 11 has a side quest with her sister and unlocks some new goth skin. Super Bob dies, and the Mind Flayer chaperones the kids' snowball dance at the end. Season 3, Billy is possessed and starts making a meat monster out of the people of Hawkins. The kids discover what a mall is. 11 dumps Mike's ass. The meat monster attacks them all, and 11 loses her powers. Billy dies. Season 4, 11 evidently is a school shooter. Hawkins' kids are getting snapped in half. Grandfather clocks are bad news. Eddie Munson and Henry/Vecna is introduced. Upside-Down bats are a thing. Will's gay. Music is powerful. New character Eddie is forced to die needlessly after an epic Metallica solo. And Vecna puts Max into a coma and breaks Hawkins into pieces. And that's season 4, 1 through 4. So let's get into it. Episode 1. Real quick, we got a sneak peek into season 1. Will, we got to see that. It's him running in the Upside Down from the Demogorgon, being uncomfortably assaulted by Vecna. We learn Holly has an imaginary friend. Everyone's living over at the Wheeler house. Dustin is being bullied, fighting with his own friends. Robin's running a rebel radio network where she feeds information to the crew about military activity. And we learn that our squad backpacks off of military operations in order to hunt down Vecna. We catch up with all of our characters who are using the tunnels to transport through Hawkins. Elle is training. We got Sarah Connor, a.k.a. Linda Hamilton, as a military major general introduced. Mm-hmm. And she's probably upset because she's got such a terrible wig. She's hunting 11. And then we see Holly is very important to the story as she continues to interact with somebody called the Mitzer What's-It. And the episode ends with the Demogorgons closing in on the Wheeler's house as we see through Will's now memories, mind's eye, hive mind vision, whatever you want to call it.
Mind's eye, I like that.
Yeah. So overall, Lub, we'll get into some of the key points, but just as a whole, how did it feel for episode 1 to drop?
It was great to get back to it for sure. I've always loved this show. It was a little thrown off by the over a year time jump. And everyone's living together under the same roof was also weird. Like, that's got to suck. And then you had like the 11 training course scene too. So it was a little jumpy to start, I'd say. And it threw me off for a second, but then I kind of settled down and got back into it.
Yeah, it was because there's a lot of plot lines, dude. I mean, we're dealing with, the Wheeler household with the Byers. They're all living in there. We've got Holly. We've got the kids going to school. Dustin's doing his own thing with the bullies. Murray is running secret, missions throughout the base, and Hopper's training Elle with. There's just a lot of different storylines going. Then you got Steve and Jonathan and the whole Nancy situation, and there's just so much stuff to dive back into. It did feel a little overwhelming, but the first 5 minutes. So did you watch it before the episode dropped? Did you watch the sneak peek? Okay, so what did you think of that first 5 minutes with Will as young Will running away in the Upside Down?
The CGI wasn't great in a few scenes, and other scenes like, wow, that actually looks like Will. And other ones, it was like, this looks like a PS4 video game. Like, I didn't love it too much, but I guess I just thought he like hid inside Castle Byers the whole time. I didn't know he was out there freaking running around trying to, escape, get away out, and getting attacked. So that was cool to see. It was a lot worse experience in the Upside Down than I first imagined.
Yeah. JD, I don't know if you gave your thoughts on that first 5 minutes, but what did you think of the Will flashback?
Yeah, after actually watching the whole episode, I really don't see the purpose in it, and I'm really loving this season. But that scene particularly was just kind of strange. Nothing really seemed to be revealed, except where he was hiding. It doesn't really seem too important. And then Vecna, of course, showing interest in him, saying we're gonna like build such beautiful things together or something like that, and kind of teasing his obsession with Will. But I don't know, it seemed like just like a 5 minute random kind of scene just to jump back into the present.
Yeah, it made more sense as the first 5 minute reveal as like, hey, check out this sneak peek. But watching it in tune with the episode, it felt way more disconnected from it. It didn't feel like a smooth transition kind of. But I don't know. I felt like at least because we didn't know what was going on there, but obviously they at least did it to show that Will is important here. Vecna chose Will for a reason. There's a reason he just wasn't a kid that got kidnapped by a Demogorgon. He chose him for a reason. And we see him again. It's very disturbing. He's pumping him with whatever it is, slugs, upside down juices. I don't know what's going into his mouth, but he throws up slugs later. So I'm going to guess that's it. But he's using him as a meat Trojan horse. He's putting this upside down stuff in him, and then he lets him get rescued by Hopper and Joyce. He lets them go. He could have killed them. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, we've got some fans out in the chat. Sometimes they get a little thirsty. You got to douse them down a little bit. Spray. Thank you, Chef Killer. By the way, we had a Go Cowboys chat in here. I wasn't going to dignify it with the response. We're not Cowboys people here, all right? We are when it's outside of football, but the Go Cowboys chat, take it easy.
They beat the Chiefs, though, so it could be Go Cowboys for one weekend.
That's fair. All right, you got a couple days left.
Yeah, Prescott on my team, so I kind of got to root a little bit.
Okay. I do too. All right, you can stay. Thanks for joining us. But yeah, it just seemed like he used Will as literally just a body to bring whatever was going to spawn across. But then he says, we're going to do so. He has a way of repeating himself. Such beautiful things. We're going to do beautiful things. Such beautiful things. His monologues, he draws it out. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be the greatest. The upside down immigrants. No. Okay. So yeah, it obviously there's got to be a reason he chose Will other than he's just a kid. And we see Will being the creative, he's the one who runs these D&D campaigns. He's the artist. He draws the mind flare. He draws this beautiful dragon photo. Like he built Castle Byers, which we see a flashback in these episodes. So he's clearly a creative, and Vecna sees something in his mind that he can build this new world that Vecna wants to build, which is evidently his goal, is to erase the world that there is now because it's broken and build his own. But yeah, connected to the episode, it felt disjointed. So, JD, the whole catch up, did it feel disjointed for you? How many plot lines we had to catch up on in the first 10 minutes of the episode, or did you enjoy getting back with the Hawkins crew?
Yeah, they did an okay job at that. It just felt a little jumpy because the military is like all of a sudden occupying the whole thing. Yet it seems like society is kind of functioning regularly. Like I really expected a more kind of apocalyptic Hawkins, right? The way season 4 ended. So, but at the same time, I loved getting into the household, the Wheeler household that has the Byers in there too. So yeah, they had that really like classic Stranger Things score, while you're getting to meet everyone again. And Will's hitting the door and he's like, I got to take a piss. It's the Byers mom in there. So that's kind of funny. But then they do end up going on a lot of separate plot lines. It was kind of after rewatching it, it's not that hard. But at first, they all have so many different like tasks going on, right? Like with this crawl, and you're just like, holy shit, what's going on? They have this radio show. So it was a lot to digest, but not too much. It's not like Inception or something where you're like, what the hell is happening here? But so yeah.
Right. And it being the 5th season, we know this is the culmination of everything being built up. So I feel like we came into it expecting a lot to be happening. It wasn't going to be season 1 where everybody's slowly doing their thing or whatever. So, I felt like they did a good job at kind of bringing us back into the chaos. That breakfast, I got the feeling. I was like, this is the last time we're going to see everybody happy eating breakfast. Like in episode 1, where they're all rushing to get out the door and everything. And you see the buyers are just chaos at the table. All the Wheeler family members are being pretty calm and reserved, and the buyers are just yelling the whole time. But that felt like the last time we were going to see a happy breakfast with everybody there. Robin and Steve are working at the radio station, and then Dustin, he's getting picked on. He's got his Hellfire Crew shirt. He's obviously mourning Eddie Munson still, and the bullies aren't having it. I'm curious, I'll start with you, JD. Did our Hawkins crew coming up to defend Dustin being bullied, did that land for you, or did that come off?
A little forced. I could see a little forced, but it did feel kind of good to me when I was watching it. It was nice to see them kind of going. They're mature now. They're bigger. They're not little kids anymore. And it was nice to see them stand up for themselves as a group. I think specifically, what's the guy's name? Max's boyfriend. Lucas's lines were corny to me, like what he said, like, I would want to kick your balls like way harder than my sister did into balloons. Like his lines didn't come across, and I'm not necessarily sure any of their lines really worked all that great, but I kind of did like the presence of our little kid group growing up and standing up for themselves.
Love.
Well, I guess it worked for me because of how long it's been since season 4, and they're all like 20-year-olds now, and like, like Mike's pretty big, Lucas is pretty big, even Will's kind of a big guy now. So they're like, when they walk up to him, it's like, okay, you guys aren't these scrawny little 12-year-olds anymore. So I guess you do have the ability to talk crap back.
Straight up. I think for me, I at least understood it to the fact these kids have been fighting interdimensional psychic beings for the last year and a half. So high school bully really ain't anything at this point. Like you're not going to be intimidated by the high school secondary bully. He wasn't even the lead jock after you just faced off Vecna Demogorgons and these Demobats and everything. Like, what's a high school bully? The only part to me, it was corny dialogue. I mean, it's your classic 80s high school stuff. But I just don't think the bullies would have backed down. Like, I believe that these kids don't care anymore. They've seen such crazy stuff, but I feel like the bullies would have just start kicking their ass. But I don't know. But it was nice. It's obviously, it was there for a reason to show us that our group that we're following around has grown up, and they've gotten tough, and they're here to fight this season, I guess. But it's hard to see Dustin getting bullied like that. I don't enjoy it.
Dude, I got our crew over those two bully guys, the two jocks, because you got Lucas over there. I feel like he could throw down, and they're outnumbered 4-2. I got the kids.
Yeah,
they are. Fair enough. But last thought, for God's sake, can somebody line Lucas up? I don't know what we're doing with this man's hairline, but for God's sake, somebody run a line across his forehead. I don't. It's just looks like a doofus. But
an Ice Cube barbershop crossover cameo.
And then Jane's got her goofy Rocky one workout outfit too. We see her; she's clearly building up her stamina because we've seen her so many times. That's the problem. She uses her power and then she just drops. Nose is bloody. She's exhausted. So it's smart. Yeah, start training her, get her endurance up. See how far you can actually test her limits. She's almost flying. She's just power jumping over the bus and everything. So, Elle and Hopper, do you guys have anything on that?
It reminded me of Rey and Rise of Skywalker, honestly.
Totally.
A little bit, yeah.
Running through the forest and stuff. It was a little corny, but I do get it. It makes sense. She does need to get her battery up.
Yeah, I didn't expect Elle to go into like full warrior training mode for this. So it was kind of cool, though. I do like her and Hopper's relationship way better in this season. They are more on like equal grounds. Hopper respects her. She argues with logic instead of like the childish emotion. She was young. So I do like their back and forth a lot more. Like their arguing isn't unbearable like it was in season 2 or 3. Because Hopper has respect for her now. Again, she's grown up. And seeing her train was cool. Seeing how she is trying to harness her powers. I think I'm seeing more and more like sci-fi action out of this. I said that going into season 4. And now all of a sudden your main character is literally Jedi training. So It is cool though. The obstacle course and popping pumpkins and stuff like that, learning how to freaking jump like that. So I liked it.
It's smart. The endurance thing is smart. That's always the weak point. My only issue with this whole Hop and L thing is we get into it and we keep getting into it. And we're not going to talk about it much because it goes into episodes 3 and 4. But it's just getting obnoxious, the Hopper protecting her stuff, because we got all of that. Season 2, it was just Hopper lecturing and protecting Elle. And then season 3, it was lecturing and telling her not to do stuff. And then even here, he's acting like, yeah, I trust you, blah, blah, blah. But then as soon as something happens, he immediately is like, no, you're not doing that. It's not safe. And it's like, oh my God, bro, she's a super powered being. She's like 16 now. Just let her do stuff. Stop stopping her from doing stuff. You're an old man with a gun. Let the psychic powered lady run out there and do some stuff too. So she was kind of dry. It was already starting to grind on me just because we got so much of that in a couple of seasons of Stranger Things. And it continues into the next episodes we're going to cover, which we'll get into that, but I won't spoil anything. But I started getting that feeling like, don't tell me we're going to get another season of this. Like, trust her, work together. Let's have a good relationship. I really don't want another full season of them just butting heads. And no, you're not doing that. It's dangerous. So, and I don't think they'll do that to the end, but that was the feeling I got right off the bat.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick to her. Like, he's calling her like a punk ass brat and like calling her names and stuff. It's like,
you said that full volume. What do you mean you heard that? She's 6 feet away from you.
No wonder she filed a grievance against him.
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah.
It's fucking mean to her for 4 seasons now. The camera's cut and he's like, yeah, you little punk ass.
Yeah. That was off script.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopper, the line was, nice work, Elle.
Yeah. He's like, oh, you guys heard that?
You're mic'd up, David. All right. So we get the quick look at Holly, and I'm not going to get into every detail of this episode. There's a lot of stuff to go. But any thoughts on Mr. What's-It and his first reveal here with Holly? Did we have any guesses, I guess?
I think is it Henry? I thought it was Henry.
Oh, well, yeah. No, I mean, did you have any guesses while it was rolling out? At the end of episode 2, we get the reveal that it's Henry. Yeah, so we're covering that. Well, yeah, it's in this episode. But at first, like, what did we think that was? Because I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Dude, I thought it was connected to the toy that Mike shared with his sister. I was like, is this some new weird character they're bringing to the table and it's going to be connected to this?
Like a Dungeons and Dragons parallel.
And we're covering episodes 1 and 2, and we get the reveal of what that is by 2, right? So we're not going to talk about. We got to be careful not to talk about episode 3.
I know. And if I haven't said it, obviously spoiler alerts for episodes 1 and 2, chapters 1 and 2 here. But yeah, we get the reveal at the end of chapter 2 about Henry.
And that it is what's his. Yeah. And to be honest, not a huge fan of that for Henry's character, because it doesn't feel like anything we're used to. It's like, it's not the Upside Down. It's not the real reality. It's not Hawkins. It's like some kind of beautiful facade of the Upside Down or something. It's just like I don't want to go through my last season going through like, wait, what is this? Like, there's a whole nother dimension of this whole show. And then even going into episode 3, I mean, no spoilers, but I didn't even really love that screen time in that, whatever that reality is. It just seems a little weird.
So I think it's just like, kind of like in Gen V, like when Kate has the dream and they're all stuck in Kate's brain. Like, she has this psychic power and they're all just going through her memories and dreams and stuff. Yeah, I think it's just it's almost like 8 from season 2. She has the reality illusion power where people see this whole different thing. So Holly's tied up to that pillar. Shit, I hope that's revealed by the end. I don't remember. I think they show that she's tied up to a pillar at some point.
It's okay.
But anyways, Holly's she's captured by Vecna. But yeah, so this dimension, I think it's just like a psychological vision that Vecna's
And-
able to just do psychically.
And Max technically never made it out. Like she didn't
Right.
get fully killed, but her mind is still in that.
She's stuck in
reality.
his brain that
Yeah.
he brought her into, essentially.
But then, real
it's
quick,
confusing.
spoilers for 3, just for real quick. She also said she ran from the Upside Down and ended up in this reality. So that was
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
running
kinda
through
confusing.
memories, then the Upside Down, and then the Upside Down back into Vecna's mind or some. Yeah, I have to rewatch it.
So that's
because
what that's the only
it was a
reason
bit
I'm not a
confusing.
huge fan of this aspect of the show. That's about
There's
it.
some
That's two-
Inception stuff going on here.
right.
Right. And I guess it's a new season. They need to add another layer of something. But I'm with you, JD. It's like it's a new season, but we have enough set up. Let's get to the end of what we have set up here. That's in front. We got enough in front of us to fill 9 episodes worth.
Yeah,
Or 8
and which they're
episodes
doing,
worth.
and they're still doing a great job at that outside
Right.
of that weird stuff. They are.
It is so, but I have to wonder what Vecna's plan is, and I'm not BSing because then I won't spoil anything, but we still don't fully know what his plan is, even caught up at the end of volume 1. But for episodes 1 and 2 at this point, we know, okay, he tells Holly he's going to bring her friends first, and then he'll bring her parents too, and then everybody. So pretty big strategy difference here. Last season, his strategy was to give children nightmares until he slowly snaps their bones and sucks their eyeballs in from their skulls. Now his strategy is to bring them in as a nice, friendly guy and give them gifts. And so obviously he's trying a new
Monsters,
style
Inc.
here. I don't know. So you got to wonder what his plan is. And again, why is it kids?
This is Holly in season 1 and Holly in season 5. This is the most jarring
Wild.
part to me. She was a baby in the first season, and they recasted her.
Oh, it is recast.
Yeah,
I
last
was
season.
gonna ask, but so how old's the actress? Probably like 13 or 14 or something.
Right.
Nell Fisher, 14-year-old, British. Of course, she's British. Everybody's British. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. The Holly thing is interesting. She had an interaction with the Demogorgons in season 1. She almost got snagged by one coming out of Will's wall, so she's been kind of close to the Upside Down this whole time.
It's just interesting how big of a character she is so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so anyways, they're using tunnels to get around Hawkins. Sarah Connor, or Dr. K, is the Linda Hamilton's character. And I can't take her seriously. The wig looks awful. So she comes off to me like it's a person wearing a costume. It doesn't look to me like, oh, that's a military doctor right there. Like the wig is terrible. They did her dirty with that wig.
Is Papa alive?
No. He
Oh,
got
dead.
murked last season.
Is any dead animal who has ever died?
No, he got sniped, huh? Like sniped.
Yeah. Multiple
Okay.
times.
We saw him die. Oh yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah, he died this time. The first season, he got taken out by a Demogorgon. We thought he was
Right.
dead, but he survived off screen somehow. Lucas is in the hospital with Max. Not much to talk on there. He's just talking to her and playing Kate Bush, which will later in episode 3 we'll see the connection there, but it doesn't really matter right now. And then we get the crawl. So this is kind of the last big thing of the episode before we get into the next episode here. But what is a crawl? So we learned that our kids are having Robin infiltrate information to all the crews regarding the military activity. And what they're doing is they're piggybacking on military operations. So they go undercover of the military's burns that they do at these portals. They search for Vecna in the Upside Down. So this is pretty crazy. It's a pretty big flip from last season where Vecna's hunting these kids. And now we start off this season where our characters are literally actively hunting him down. Like, where is this son of a bitch? Like they're going down and they are bloodthirsty, dude. They're ready to end this and kill this man. So it's a pretty big switch there. They've done over 30 crawls, we hear from Steve. And he had a pretty funny monologue. He's kind of ranting and getting annoyed by everything. He's like, we've done 30-something crawls. 11 can't find him in the tub. Will isn't having his goosies. Last time I saw him, he was a roasted turkey with a hole in his chest. I don't know what we're doing. And yeah, I mean, he's not totally wrong. Yeah, I get it. But then right as he says that, Will gets his goosies. So Steve jinxed it. Will gets dizzy and sees the sky spinning. And for a second there, I got a little annoyed because I'm like, I don't need inconspicuous Will thoughts again. Like season 2 is full of it. Season 3, it's just, let's look at Will and he's looking around a little uneasy about something. Oh, here we go again. It's Will. He looks a little uneasy about something. It's like, Jesus, here we go again.
I thought the same thing, but I think the actor's doing a little better this time. Like I thought his acting was much less bearable. Yeah, pretty solid this season.
I didn't enjoy him.
Talk about another episode.
I know. I didn't enjoy him or Finn Wolfhard and most of the seasons leading up to this. Finn, actually, I'm not even minding that much this season, but Will, I think, because most improved for me. I've really liked his character so far this season. I'm enjoying it more in his screen time more than I have in the past, for sure.
They're also,
I mean, other than that, yeah. What do you got?
Sorry, they're also playing on the Nancy's two boyfriends, Steve and Jonathan, like really making me think that one of them are going
to contest.
Yeah, they they're climbing the ladder to fix the signal and racing up there. But man, they're playing on that, and I feel like one of them's gonna die for sure.
For sure, because Nancy's not gonna make a decision. She clearly can't. She just lets them argue over each other. But one of them's definitely gonna die. And I know Steve and Jonathan are giving each other crap too in the van later, and that's another other episode. But it's just they're still doing this pissing contest thing, and I don't know, I'm getting a little over it at this point, but because they're both obnoxious when they're doing it, and it's like the way Steve says, he's like, you're being a paranoid stoner ever since you've got back from California. Like, pay attention to. I don't know. I guess I just don't enjoy it. Yeah, just Nancy get with Steve. Who wants Nancy with Jonathan? Is that anything anybody's rooting for right now?
I don't know.
They're together in real life, so let's see if I have it in the show.
Are they really?
Oh, are they? Oh, there you go.
For like 8 years or something. It's a while.
Damn. Yeah. But yeah, the crawl goes wrong. Hopper gets kind of ambushed in the Upside Down and left there. And the Demogorgon shows up and just starts tearing soldiers up. And we see that Will is now seeing through the Demogorgon's visions. He is seeing through the hive mind more vividly than he used to as the now memories were happening. Pretty crazy. And so the episode ends with him. He's seeing that vision and he sees the Demogorgon sprinting towards the Wheeler house, which is a terrifying sight to see. Yeah. I don't know how Demogorgons can just create portals wherever they are. I don't know if they've explained that.
Right.
Is that always? I don't know.
New, right?
They literally just tear wherever they want to.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because the fourth Max was the fourth soul that cracked all the
gate,
all of Hawkins. So now they can do it. Because before it was Chrissy's room and the other room. So there were like 3 gates before. I think now that the 4th gate's open, you can do it wherever you want.
Maybe, yeah. But then everybody, Willie doesn't think you're onto something. Willie says this guy's full of it. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I don't know, because then you have God, I don't know what episode that is later. I guess I shouldn't bring that up yet.
I fucking love hot mic.
But all around episode 1, I mean, how did we feel about it? I think we touched on the majority of what happened there. There's a lot of storylines we bounced around. We probably should have killed off a few more characters before this season. Is kind of what I was thinking leading into that. So we probably should have lost a few storylines. But overall, I enjoyed it. I felt it was a nice return to Hawkins and getting back into the Stranger Things world. So how did we feel about episode 1, JD?
Yeah, solid. I liked it better than episode 2. I was wondering if you guys think, did you think it was cool how they did that radio broadcast thing to plan their crawl? Like I thought that was pretty cool and interesting. I also like their mapping system way more than like Rudy finding out, Sean Astin finding out his mapping tunnel shit through all these paintings. So I really like how they have like the map and then they overlay that with the tunnels and find the links there. So that was really cool. Overall, episode 1 was solid. Yeah, great start to the season. Getting back with everyone. Better than episode 2, I think.
Yeah, I don't fully understand how that satellite on top of the car and like Dustin points it in the direction and then like the decibels go up. I'm not totally sure how that tracking system works, but it looks cool.
Yeah, they're doing a lot. They're like pushing the boundaries with a lot of this stuff. It's
season 5, so we have to think, they're really good at this now. They're pros, they have this whole thought out perfect plan. Everyone has their positioning and what to do, but it's like, how do you track someone through the Upside Down with like a
It's a reach.
Like what is
They're-
it again?
They're using telemetry and sound decibels in a different dimension,
And
which
for
I know
what
the light
purpose?
thing works. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I guess to find Vecna, they want to track the Demogorgons back to Vecna's lair to find
That
them or
yeah,
whatever,
but what's the purpose of following them on the up level?
Maybe
just so they're in a safer place while they're tracking them, I think, rather than being in the Upside Down, or because they can't get to the Upside Down, and so
Oh,
they're
yeah,
just falling where they can.
And they could know where Vecna is in the upside down version. So if they track it to some random
Right,
house out
like
in
a
the middle of nowhere,
cemetery.
Vecna's here, but upside down. You know,
Right,
right.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
But
way they can look at their map like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then see. It's just there's a good amount of suspension of disbelief that happens in this
100%.
with Stranger Things. Like a lot of these kids, it's like you would not be able to do any of this. Like you just, and I don't know that the telemetry tracker works after the shotgun blast. I know they showed us doing it. I don't know that necessarily means it would survive a shotgun blast, but there's a lot of that stuff where it's like, it's the 80s. Are kids really able to pull off this kind of tracking and advanced? Maybe they're smart kids, but again,
Right.
that's not the point of Stranger Things. You're not there to break down the logical possibilities of a 10-year-old being able to manipulate this type of technology. You know, that's not why we're watching it. And so there's points where you just kind of have to go with it.
Yeah.
And I'm
And I
fine with that.
I'm good
And
at that too. Yeah.
But I have noticed a couple times this season, I hope they don't keep doing it. It's like, this is such a crazy plan. I hope it works out.
Dude.
What are we doing?
Yes.
It's never gonna work.
Especially in episode 2, every
Right?
conversation was like, we are going to take this guy down good and he's just going to be dead forever. Let's do
Yeah.
this. Next scene, they talk about the same thing. Like, we have to put Vecna
This is a
down
crazy plan.
forever.
Stranger Things has that, and then they always do it. Somehow people's hunches are 100 for 100 every time.
yeah.
Well, it's just a theory, but I think that Vecna is the 5-star general, the Mind Flayer, and this and that. And I just have a theory that, well, if Holly was able to do that, well, then Will, you can actually control the Demogorgons. It's just a theory, but every time their wild ass theories are right. I don't think any of them have ever been wrong. So it's just like, Will, you had a now memory. I think you can actually control Demogorgons. It's just a thought, and boom, what do you know? Just kidding.
That only exists in Star Wars. We could headcanon it because of the Force. The Force willed them to do this.
Yeah.
Can't do
you
that.
know,
with
it just,
Stranger
hey,
Things.
you know, Mike, I bet you if you could thought really hard about it, on my theory, you could turn invisible and transfer to the Upside Down on your own. Whoa, it works first try. It's just there's a lot of that. But so we'll get into episode 2, unless you guys have any other thoughts on episode 1 there.
Well, did Dustin get his ass whooped at the end of episode 1? Or was
It was episode 1.
Dude, that was sucked.
That was
He
brutal.
Graveyard
Dustin
one?
get his ass beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got jacked. I mean, he did try to chemically blind them, so he kind of upped the ante there when he did that.
If that works, dude, that could have been
anything
intense.
goes now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just blinded this kid, so they may try to kill you now. But
I thought that was going to work too. I thought for sure he was going to pull that out of his ass and
Run
escape at least. And then it damaged their eyes though. So I was like, that could have repercussions.
right. I guess that, yeah. So that anything else in episode 1? I think that was we hit
That's
on
it.
everything there. So episode 2. Real quick, we're 3 days from the anniversary of Will's kidnapping, and the Demogorgons are kidnapping Holly Wheeler.
Hold on, sorry.
yeah.
My wife made a
Yeah.
joke. She said that was 1 year ago today. It's been like 14 years, but you think that was just
Right.
1 year ago.
Yeah, let's just act like that was definitely only a year ago in 2013 or whatever it was. So Holly gets kidnapped, and the Wheelers get torn up by a Demogorgon. Military investigates the attack. Elle follows Holly into the Upside Down and runs into Hopper after he's been stranded. And this leads to more of the same super fun arguing between Elle and Hopper. Robin and Will defy Joyce's plan and sneak off to find Holly in an attempt to use Will as a hive mind antenna while having some chats about homosexuality. And the episode ends with the big reveal of Mr. What's-It actually being Henry Creel in disguise, as he has taken on a new strategy. Instead of torturing the children with nightmares, he is befriending them and buying them toys. That was pretty much episode 2. I feel like there wasn't a lot to summarize. Out of all the episodes we got, out of the 4 episodes, episode 2 is definitely the weak link for me.
Besides the opening part.
That was it. The opening part and the last minute. Those were the 2 good parts of the episode, but everything in between was definitely the low point of the volume. So So we let's talk about the attack on the wheel. We've got a Demogorgon going hard. Pretty terrifying in the house there. Ted's a moron as usual.
Dude.
I don't get how either of them are alive.
He didn't get
I
his
took a
bacon,
note.
dude.
He didn't get his bacon.
He didn't get
Was
his
he making
bacon. He's feeling a little slow. No, that was the first scene, episode 1.
He asked to pass the bacon, and by the time it got there, it was empty.
It was empty.
Dude, I fucking love Ted.
What?
Ted is the best
hate him.
character in
He's
all
the
of
worst.
Stranger Things.
He's
He
the
just
worst.
sits there and has the most ridiculous things, has no care in the world. No, he's the worst. But
I put a note. I was like, that is perfect. They just unceremoniously killed Ted. Like they slashed Karen, but they zoomed in on her bleeding and everything. They didn't show Ted after he got yeeted into the other room. And I was just like, they just killed him. That's so funny. They just killed him. And then he's alive.
And then when the kids show up or whatever, they're not even looking for their dad.
Yeah.
They're just looking for their mom. They're like, "Where's dad?" It's like, "Oh my god, mom!"
they did that
again.
There was another season where it's like Ted was not included in all these deaths or
It was
people
the
that were
Vecna. It was the Vecna vision he gave Nancy, and she's telling everybody, she's like, they were monsters were taking over Hawkins, and Holly and my mom were dead. She didn't mention Ted at all. She never once mentioned her dad. So
Mark my words, Ted is going to save the day, dude.
He
Without
probably
Ted,
does.
we're all gonna die. I'm telling you.
Ted's actually
be
number
awesome.
12.
Oh shit!
So it was a pretty crazy. The Demogorgons are reckless, so they're trying to take Holly alive. They yeeted her into that bookshelf right off the bat. That's a child, sir. You could have just
Right.
killed her. But that was pretty wild. What do we think of it, Lub? What do you think of this attack on the Wheelers?
I mean, that was pretty badass by Karen. I mean, she like really tried to fight to save her kids, which I respect. I thought she died for sure. Like guts were all basically hanging out. And then 11 walking through the portal to find Holly was kind of sick too as it's closing. I do like how they're doing that this season. Kind of like walk through as it's closing.
Oh, clear that up for me. How did she get into the Upside Down? Because
Well, the Demogorgon took Holly through the portal, and then as
That's
it was like closing, she just kind of walked straight through.
that's right.
Yeah.
I thought that scene was sick though. That was cool to see the mom just get all savage and try to beat that thing's ass. For a second, I thought maybe she was going to stab it to death. And
Yeah.
kill the Demogorgon. Very surprised they survived. That was probably the best scene of that episode, though.
It was cool how they shot it too, where like you didn't
That's
see
what
what
I liked.
happened, and then Nancy walks in and like kind of does the replay of what happened.
Oh, yeah.
You see the blood
And
on the
it's
ground first. That was cool.
slowly panning down. Yeah. I would have been pissed if the Demogorgon died from that, because we are watching 30 soldiers unleashing M16s
Whoops.
on these Demogorgons. And
Yeah. Well, and have we seen
Well,
that before episode?
no, it's in the trailer. I mean,
Okay,
there's
that's fair enough,
soldiers
fair
firing on Demogorgons constantly. We've seen in other episodes too where soldiers are firing on Demogorgons.
Burning
And
them
a
alive.
wine bottle killed them, but the high powered rifles didn't. I would have been pissed if the
Yeah.
wine bottle killed the Demogorgon.
And
But
then
yeah.
Will shot them in the Upside Down. Like one shot from like a little 22 rifle completely like knocked this thing back, the Demogorgon.
yeah, that's
You
what I
got
don't get either.
Dozens of bullets, hundreds of bullets, just not really affecting them later on.
Yeah, I got questions about the consistency of the Demogorgon's hide and how that works, but I was also wondering, like, why is the Demogorgon just standing there, letting her stab it in the face and arms as it just chills? And then we learn it kept them alive for a reason. They were just wounding them apparently, but it just seemed a little silly. But yeah, I mean, Karen's a badass for standing there and going all that. Kai Cool in the chat. In fact, we are talking about Stranger Things. Thank you for joining us. Welcome in. We are actually talking about episode 2. So we're full spoilers. Just finished our coverage of episode 1. And we are rocking episode 2. The attack on the Wheelers. Didn't 2 Demogorgons drop in at this point? Or was it? No, it was just the one. It went through a different portal. Never mind. That at first I thought it was the second Demogorgon. But Ted's just out there swinging, hitting the golf balls. And then he's coming in here saying things like heavens to Betsy and just die already, Ted. What are we doing anyway?
Heavens to Betsy.
Your family doesn't even respect you. Your wife almost had sex with a kid in high school last year. I mean, get it together, Ted.
I will have no more degrading Ted. He is the savior.
I've moved on from his son. I'm taking shots at the dad now.
The creator.
These damn Wheeler men. Oop, $5. But yeah, so Ted and Karen get wheeled into surgery. And then we've got Hopper and Elle. So they're investigating the Wheeler house, and it just finally occurred to me, really, that the military full-on doesn't believe Vecna is even a thing. They think all the carnage and everything that's been happening over the last year has all been 11. And that makes me wonder. I know Brenner and the doctors hid stuff from the military. They obviously lied about stuff. But Brenner thought that 11 slaughtered all those kids in the lab, right? Like, he came in, what have you done? Even though it was after she banished one to Dimension X. Did he never wonder, like, oh, where'd the caretaker go? Like, where'd one go? The guy that I've had locked up with a chip in his neck. Or did he come to find out, oh, okay, that was probably one that killed all those kids, not 11, because one's gone now.
Like, I think so, because in the season 4, she's with Dr. Brenner and the other guy, and she's reliving all those memories.
Dr.
I think that's Dr. Brenner's whole goal was for her to see that it wasn't her. Right?
It wasn't her.
I don't. A little bit.
I thought he was like with her, trying to figure out what happened to her. I don't know. It always seemed to me. So if that happened, wouldn't you tell the military, like, well, it wasn't 11, it was this other dude who got banned? I don't know. I guess.
Well, it just a light spoiler for episode 3, I think, but that one military guy talks about the helicopter scene from season 4, where she just like
was there,
destroyed the helicopter without touching it at all. So I think she's like back on their shit list after that.
Right. But I just, with everything else going on, they must not know about Vecna.
Right.
They must not know there was there was another, and Brenner's dead now, so nobody told the military. So it's just crazy. They think that Elle is behind
kidnapping
Hawkins,
children,
cracking, the children being kidnapped, all this insane stuff. It's all Elle as a mastermind. It's wild to think. So,
and like, what about how the military is like occupying the Upside Down now? Like, what are their goals? Crazy. It's not just to find Elle, or like, what are they really trying to do? Or it's just the military trying to experiment.
We'll have to talk about that in our next.
Okay, do find out what they're doing out there.
Yeah.
But at this point, I think Elle. Well, I won't say it because then you'll know that Elle's theory was wrong. So I'm not going to say anything about that. But there is a reveal about why they're in the. I don't know why they are there, though. They could do what they're doing that to somewhere else. They don't need to be in the Upside Down. Maybe there's a background to their plan. I don't know. We'll find out more, but there will be a reveal down around episode 3 and 4. There yet. So Elle and Upper are talking about, the plan to I forget what they're talking about. I don't know. Elle wants to do something, and Hopper's lecturing her about going off of emotion. Now you're doing things with emotion again. You're dumb. You're stubborn. And she says it's not emotion, it's instinct, and walks by him. And it's like, yeah, good. Hopper's kind of being obnoxious. Like, let Elle have some credit here. Let her do her thing. And then we find the wall. Total Game of Thrones vibes.
Dude,
it's like a fleshy wall. I don't even know what it is. It's kind of gnarly. I prefer the wall up north. This one kind of is uncomfortable, but
it smells
we'll
like
find out some more about that. Yeah, apparently, smells pretty rough. So, any thoughts on Hopper and Elle on the Upside? There's not a lot to talk about them for this episode. Everything really progresses with them in the next 2 episodes. But anything for now you guys wanted to comment on?
I know I keep wanting to say things from episode 3, but we do figure out more about it later. But I guess for my first thoughts, without watching it, I thought Vecna was clearly hiding behind the wall, which he still might. It hasn't been confirmed where he is yet. But actually, I haven't finished episode 4, so maybe you guys figure that out in episode 4. But I'm thinking right now that because I just think he's behind the wall. I'll say that. Not so far.
Yeah. Anything I already said. I do like their relationship now better than previous seasons. I like that they're kind of on equal ground and respect each other. Hopper listens to her. She has a better voice for her arguments now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Straight up. All right. Well, yeah.
Well, and I would just add, I don't expect them to continue all this arguing. I think at the point that we've seen, maybe it wasn't 3 or 4, but I think we're at a place now where Hopper will stop arguing her about stuff. Yeah.
It's not a spoiler, but they do have a very good talk in episode 3, I think. makes me feel I'm excited for what's coming with them at this point. I am.
Yeah.
But
It is cool that it's just the two of them two hanging out for most of the season so far.
Which again, last time we got that, it sucked. Other than the end of season 2 when they went into the lab and she was in her goth thing and they were taking out the demo dogs. That was cool. But yeah, it just, you get that feeling of, are we really going to get a father-daughter arguing season again for season 5? But I think they know what they're doing. So last few topics of this episode. Again, Lucas is talking to Max. There's not much to talk about there yet. We've got our group split up. So we got Robin, Will, and Joyce, and we've got Dustin, Jonathan, and Steve. Robin, Will, and Joyce. Joyce has a terrible plan to just wait and listen and hope for safe things to happen. And Robin says, this is dumb. Your mom's plan's dumb. She's a nice lady, but this is dumb. This isn't the time to play it safe. We're in an apocalypse. Like, we're not. So she theorizes that Will can tap in as an antenna and kind of use it as a two-way communication system with the hive mind. So they do that. They sneak off. And Robin and Will begin to form this relationship, which I'm enjoying more. It's developed more in episode 3 and 4 than it did in episode 2. Half of it, I think, is a bit, what's the right word for it?
Forced?
It's not forced, but close.
Manufactured?
Kind of to do something just to do it kind of deal. I can't think of the right word, but yeah, not exactly
Arbitrary?
genuine. Yeah. There's some arbitrary stuff there.
Smart.
That's still not the exact word I was thinking of, but
Like
there
needed something
bits
for
of it
them
I
to
really
do.
enjoy. Right. It felt like they did this for a reason. You got the two gay people in Stranger Things, so you're going to give them a plot point and whatever. And some of it, if you write it well, then so be it. I think I enjoyed it more than I thought I would for probably about half of it. I liked some of their scenes together.
Yeah.
But I love the whole Robin's like, we can still turn back. He's like, I'm more afraid of my mom at this point, to be honest. Like, I ain't going back to crazy Joyce after we just ditched her. So I thought it was pretty funny, but you guys weren't big fans of the combo with Robin and Will. Again, I think it gets better in the next episodes too, more so than this one, but how did we feel?
I think it's fine. Yeah, I'm good with it. Robin's like, I don't love her character. She's a little much, like a little too charming,
over the top.
Stop talking.
But like her actor is just so good with it. Like, it's such good acting for that. And I kind of like that Will has a relationship because he was always kind of shut out of things previously. So he gets kind of someone to connect with more on a level that can kind of help him out. So I kind of like it. It's not my favorite screen time, but I do like it for Will.
It's almost like the way Robin talks is not a way a real person talks. It's like very cheesy and like punny and, saying weird stuff.
It's like a Molly Ringwald movie. It's like an 80s high school, like coming of age conversation, but every time they talk.
Right.
But there were aspects where it made me like Will a little bit more, I guess. Robin, I liked her stuff with Steve and Dustin more last year.
Me too.
Season.
Yeah. Will's doing a good job acting. Like, I know I shit on him in our recap episode, and a lot of people shit on his acting skills. He's had a couple good emotional scenes where they like you can see like the real emotion in his eyes. So he stepped it up a little bit.
Feels like a real person, where he kind of didn't really.
Right. He fit into his role now. He really came into character. It reminded me of Bran. Like the acting got worse and worse through Game of Thrones, and I expected that from Will because it felt like that in season 2 and 3 maybe. But no, totally did a 180. I feel like it came into his character, and he's pretty much nailing it. I buy into his character now.
I'm going to go now.
Yeah. I'm going to go watch the battlefield through Raven's Eye. Good luck.
Why do you think I came all this way?
Let's do a Game of Thrones recap. I'm ready.
Come on, Andy.
There was the funny sequence, and this happens in episode 3, I think, but whatever. And I'm not going to dive into it. But there's a moment where Robin thinks she sees Will during a certain scene, and Will says it wasn't him. And then he reveals later, okay, yeah, that was me. She goes, I knew that was your bowl cut. He goes, yeah. They're not really popular anymore. I thought it was a pretty funny meta joke there. And then the other thing I have an issue with, Steve and Dustin, man. I know it's going to come to a surface where they're going to have... We've seen it in the trailer. Dustin is sobbing in Steve's arms in the trailer. We know this is going to come. But, man, I'm getting real... I miss season 3 Steve and Dustin, dude. I hate them just bitching at each other and arguing. And every time Dustin says something smart, Steve's a little shithead about it. And every time Steve says something, Dustin's a dick about it and is way too harsh about, like, it's just, I get it's a part of the plot. And Dustin is grieving and people aren't really helping him with his grieving. And maybe he's hung up on it too much. It's been a year after all. It has been a year, right? Like, there's a lot. The world is ending. Eddie died a year ago. Maybe stop alienating your friends now and embrace the friends you have that are still alive, that are going to help you through this. I don't know. I just,
I don't Eddie for what? A year?
That too. And I get it was brutal, horrible, heartbreaking loss. He watched him die. I get it. But I just don't need more. Like, if we get this in volume 2 anymore, I don't want it anymore. It's not enjoyable. I miss the good friends. They were my favorite part of season 3 a lot of the time. So, Love, what's your thoughts on Steve, Dustin, and Jonathan? Really, that whole portion there.
Yeah, I've never been a big fan of Jonathan. Honestly, I've always been more of a Steve guy than a Jonathan guy. But the Holly dynamic is not Holly. Excuse me, Nancy, older sister. Nancy's always been solid though. Like, she's always been a good character, very creative, smart, get shit done like her mom.
Yeah.
So
Nancy comes across like she's trying to be too badass sometimes. That's the only small nitpick I get. It felt more genuine season 1 and 2. And yeah, I get it. She's been through a lot of experience. So she would be more badass, but it seems like her character is acting more badass. Anyway, that was just a little side thing. I still love Nancy. Back to Dustin and Steve. I agree with everything. That is annoying. I don't really want to see that. But I get it. Dustin, he got his ass whooped. And he's probably going through puberty, man. He's a little spicy fella right now. So that kind of makes sense, but it's not really what you want to see. I want to see them, become friends again. So, right. Yeah.
And he lies about the bullies, and Steve sees through it. We see Steve.
Steve sees through the lies of the Jedi, is what Dave was about to say. Steve knows Dustin very well. Of course, they spent a ton of time together in previous seasons. All right, we're going to do this solo. Yeah, Steve knows Dustin well, and I feel like Dustin needs to come to him for a little bit of, there he is. I was by myself for a minute there. He left too.
Screw this guy. He can finish the episode on his own.
Well, there was a kid screaming in the background, I heard, so we had to go. What you were saying, you were about to say Steve sees through the lies of the Jedi.
Yeah, he sees through the lies of the Jedi. He knows that they're not really there for good. He knows that they want ultimate power. And they've really gotten complacent in their power over the last 100 years or so. And Yoda, he's just not really seeing through into this Sith stuff. He lets Anakin go down this dark road. Terrible mentor, does not give him good advice at all. So anyway, Steve and Dustin, yeah, Steve sees through the lies about the fight, and he's going to call him out on it and they're going to find out what happened. And ideally, man, Steve, I know you're 19 or 20. I know I guess you're only 19 because it's only been a year. Maybe you're still 18. I know those bullies are like 16, but I wouldn't mind watching Steve beat the hell out of one of those bullies with the hat on. Yeah. Or let our guys do it, I guess. Let Mike get some licks in there, but
I do wish that was a storyline they kind of dropped, though. I feel like that isn't really necessary after everything that happened last season. Just move on.
I think that was my biggest issue is I don't need a bully plot line. Like the world is ending, bro.
Yeah.
The world is ending. Your jock got ripped in half by the world splitting open into a new dimension. Like I don't need the jock storyline anymore, And I'm hoping they just use it for this start for Dustin, just to show where Dustin is at with stuff. But if it comes back down the season, it's so unnecessary. We don't need a high school jock storyline at this point. We're dealing with a psychic killer. But anyways, I digress. I know they'll make up, but and then last thing was Mr. Whatsit. So did you guys ever have an inkling who this could have been when we first saw the guy in the hat out in the rain? I was thinking it was maybe a benevolent figure. I did not think it was Henry until they started. I think she wrote H on the paper, and I was like, son of a bitch, it's Henry. Or no, he spoke. He was talking to Holly, and he was like, yes, we'll bring your friends next, but he was off screen, and I was like, oh, that's Jamie Campbell.
Right.
Up. I'm here.
You're here.
Am I still here?
You're just
Am I late? I'm too soon. Flash reference. All right. Katie, what did you think about Mr. What's It?
Yeah, like I said, I also thought it was a benevolent figure. I didn't make that clear last time. I was talking about how I thought it was tied to the toy Mike was showing Holly. And yeah, I thought it was a benevolent figure for a while before we find out who it is. So
yeah. So I thought it was a cool reveal, though. I thought I was like, oh, all right. They had to get Jamie Campbell. There had to have been something in his contract that he needs at least 10 minutes of screen time, not in the Vecna costume, showing off that beautiful face of his. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was a great reveal, and especially the way they did it. We're bouncing between Holly talking to Mr. What's It, and we're going to Will talking to his mom about how the now memories are coming, or maybe he wasn't talking to his mom at this point. Maybe it was Robin. It was Robin. And he realizes I'm seeing through Vecna's eyes, and it's the hive mind. And when Vecna picks his victim, he sees through the victim's eyes. And so he's putting this all together while it reveals that it's Henry. So I thought this was a really cool 5-minute end to the episode. So like I said, the start and end of this episode were great, but the middle 50 minutes, pretty boring.
Yeah. You're right about the strategy shift, because at first I was thinking, what Holly has what trauma has Holly been through? Like, right. Why is he attaching himself? She seems like a nice, sweet girl who's, living life. So even a dipshit Derek, we get into him later. Like,
yeah. And we get some more answers in episode 3 and 4, but not all of them. And we're still left at the end of volume 1, really wondering why these kids, he's got a specific list of kids picked out. So why them? Why Will? There must be something genetics or some blood type, because the blood type thing with Dimension X, it could be a blood type thing. His blood type switched when he went to Dimension X in the first shot. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff it could be, but I like this little twist that we got at the end of the episode. So, yeah. Any other thoughts on this episode? I think we all thought it was the weakest of the first 4. Is that agreed? Yeah. Definitely. Love hasn't finished 4, but I know Love's not going to say 4 is weaker than 2 when he finishes it. So, Stuffing Valuables says that show is gay. That's true. Will and Robin are both homosexual.
We're all about the gay stuff here, baby. Let's go.
Super gay.
You came to the wrong podcast, brother.
You should have seen him in season 4.
Or if you were just trying to verify, maybe you're at the right place.
That's true. Yeah.
At Stuffing Valuables. I see you, man. I see you.
Wow, your name is Stuffing Valuables? What else are you stuffing?
Hey, all right, everybody out there.
Thanks for the comment.
Yeah, thank you for the interaction. Come back soon. So overall premiere thoughts. The first 2 episodes, how were we feeling? Were we feeling like we were back and stoked for the rest of the volume, or we were feeling like we were kind of wanting some more baby gay stuff? Love. First 2 episodes ended. How'd you feel about stuff?
It didn't blow me away, baby.
Yeah.
No, it was probably around like a 8, I'd say. 8 out of 10 for the first 2, maybe a little lower, maybe 7 something. But I mean, definitely great enough to keep me wanting to watch, the next 2 episodes, which I'm almost finished. Maybe we'll cover that next week sometime.
Sooner the better, brother. I'm waiting. I'm ready. I'll do it now.
Now, episode 2 didn't get me anywhere near climax, right, baby? But I was, of course, still excited because we didn't have to wait, man. I don't know how I felt because I just turned on episode 3 and kept going. So let's go.
Straight up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was a solid start. It wasn't amazing, but as far as getting me ready for the rest of the next 6 episodes, I thought it was a good foundation, at least. I wasn't blown away. Episode 3 helped a lot. Baby blown. I should have thought of a different one. Lazy. But yeah, episode 3 and 4 really got me into it harder. More. There's a joke about that. I think episode 3 or 4, there's a dick joke talking about it being hard or soft in episode 4. It's pretty forced too. That's another forced too. It's right. Like that didn't even really make sense.
Yeah, it was the story of Dick, and she was like,
Tom, Dick,
let's
and
go
Harry.
with Dick. Or like, I think Dick's the best or something.
Yeah, he's
And
like,
then
well, I hope
Luke is going to
not
hit the
too
wall.
hard.
Yeah.
If it is, I'll
Yeah.
make it soft. It's like,
Right.
what are we doing?
Yeah.
But stuffing valuables, I'm gonna keep you here because they do. It's very odd seeing all these kids. That was the other thing. So the main focus now are these 9 and 10-year-old kids, and it's weird seeing the group of characters that we started with saving these little kids that were the age they were when we started this show. And it's supposed to have only been a year ago, but they look like an 8-year difference as they're rescuing them through these. Damn it, that's episode 3 and 4 too. Shut up, David. We got to wrap this up because I accidentally spoiled something big, and hopefully a lot of people out there didn't hear it. We've got to end this. My last thought is we hear this monstrous roar in the Upside Down with Elle and Hopper, right? Like there's this crazy roars and thunder off in the distance. And this is a whole new dimension. I think we're going to get some crazy monsters. It can't just be Demogorgons and the Mind Flayer in this entire dimension. There's got to be all types of. I think we're going to get like a massive monster at the end of this season. Nancy said there was a massive monster with a large gaping mouth. It didn't sound like a Demogorgon, baby. I think we're going to get at least a couple crazy Upside Down monster reveals coming into the season. Where are the bats? What the hell happened to the bats? How come everybody can go through the Upside Down and not worry about touching the mines?
They said they're
dead.
They said they're all
they're dead.
Yeah, they're
like
gone.
That they're getting disconnected from the vines, maybe killed off the vine hive mind, because Steve's sitting on a vine in one of these scenes in the Upside Down. I'm like, I guess it doesn't matter anymore. They're not worried about it.
It seems pretty safe in the Upside Down right now.
Just cruising through. Yeah.
Right, not a lot going on besides the military.
The military base. They built an entire base in the Upside Down in 1 year.
They're flying helicopters.
They did that pretty
in the Upside Down.
Yeah, like,
you hear a helicopter. I'm like, what are you guys doing? You're crazy.
Portals, but
oh my god.
So that'll pretty much wrap it up here, though, unless you guys got any other thoughts. Again, this is the first 2 episodes of Volume 1, Chapters 1 and 2. We'll cover Chapter 3 and 4 within the next week here, and then Volume 2 drops on December 25th. So we'll be coming back at the end of the month, covering again finale and New Year's. So thank you for joining me here, JD and Caleb. Shout out to the commenters and the audience, and shout out to the gay stuff from Stuff and Valuables. We appreciate it always, and we will see you next time on Why So Sidious, a Nerd Podcast.